just wanna see my flag wave again. I'm trying to make America great again. I know we won't make the same mistakes again. Since Trump's been gone, it ain't the same again. Yeah, this is for the veterans. This is for Americans. Greatest country on earth, yeah, there's no comparison. This is for the generals. This is for who fighting overseas so that we can have a better place. This is for the soldiers. This is for the kids, you'll understand it when you older. This is for Marines that got straps on their shoulders. This is for the posters. This is one for people who got robbed when they voted. This is for the mothers that lost their sons. This is to the countries who thought they won. Yeah, this is our place. This is our inheritance. Proud to be American, and I was born in the USA, and I'm proud of my country. So tell them boys to come on home. I wanna see that flag wave. I was born in the USA, and I'm proud of my country. So tell them boys to come on home. I wanna see that flag wave. This one's for the Navy. This one's for a God up above who looked down and he saved me. This is for my warriors who in basic training. This is for my fighters who are out here fighting bravely. This is for the infantry. This is one for anyone who really got love for this country, yeah. And if you don't, there's really nothing you can say that would make me not love the USA. This is one for anyone with full metal jackets. We the best country that is on the map. And this is for my jarheads that were fighting Taliban. This is for my troops that were sent to Afghanistan. This is for the men at arms who defend our homes and prevent our harm. This is for the men who fight brutal wars out in uniform. I'm glad I was born. I was born in the USA, and I'm proud of my country. So tell them boys to come on home.
How we doing, everybody? Hey, Annette, Trina, Deborah. I'm just throwing everything everywhere, don't worry.
It's the first time Hi, Dad.
Hey, Mark. That's right, flick it for freedom tonight.
Sean. I want to be the Speaker of the House. As soon as I get in there, it's front lean arrest until we pass everything.
As soon as Dwight's done clipping, we can get some Jesus. As soon as Dunn's something, I said it backwards, and I can't think of how I said it in my head. As soon as Dunn's Dwighting.
Yeah, he's waiting.
Heavenly Father, we gather here on this Lord's Day to continue to support our patriots. You know, each day is a new day. And each day we have to renew ourselves in you so that we can make it through. We know that, you know, for our patriots that lost, that are being persecuted, that are being detained, it's hard for them to tell one day from another. But we know that you give us this day so that we can worship you, we can honor you, we can put our faith in you. And today especially, Father, we remember the veterans, we remember our soldiers, the sacrifices that they did. Some gives the ultimate sacrifice and give their life for this good. And Father, we just remember especially the troops that lost their lives in defense of this country. And we pray that you will not, their loss are not forgotten, that their loss are not for nothing. And we also pray for their families of these soldiers, that you comfort them in this time of sorrow. We know that each life means something to someone, and each life lost is a life that we want to remember. Father, we also pray for our great sisters, Sherry and Jennifer, as they join the convoy to fight for another cause, and that's the cause of securing this country, to protect America from invasion. Yes, Father, this is an invasion that our government is allowing, is encouraging, and we pray that you protect the convoys, especially our sisters, that they can go safely and they will come back safely, that their message will be heard across the land, and this issue will change the hearts of Americans. We thank you this evening for your presence, for your presence here, for your protection, and most of all, for your love for us. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we know that everybody's noticed that the flag is upside down because, we're in distress. And, I'm just disgusted by this government that treats our young people like pawns in their chess game and just doesn't have any more regard for them than that. I'm disgusted at the news people that say 3 American servicemen died today overseas like it's nothing, like it's 5 o'clock and the weather's bad. Somewhere in this country tonight, there are mothers that cannot believe this has happened, that can't draw a breath, and that'll, next time they're lucky enough to sleep, wake up and try to convince themselves this didn't happen. So I would like to take a moment of silence for these families and keep them in your hearts. So. Three servicemen did die today, and several others were injured. And last week, there were several others injured, hundreds of others injured. What they were being treated for was traumatic brain injury. And as we well know, that you don't recover from traumatic brain injury. It is something that affects you for the rest of your life. So that's hundreds of servicemen that have been taken out of service now will come home and they will not get the benefit of their government helping them. They'll get the VA. So we all know what that means. So let's pray for them and their families as well. And also, when you have a traumatic brain injury, sometimes you don't survive them. And it doesn't say how severe these injuries are, so they try to keep American people appeased with the death toll at 3. Like 3 isn't enough. But chances are these other injuries will involve more fatalities, and I wonder if they'll talk to us about those. It's just shameful. It's shameful.
Well, I guess it's not just sprinkling anymore. It's a little more than a sprinkle now. Did anybody else's Google weather say that it was going to rain precisely from 7 to 9?
It'll look everywhere we go. But when the sinners find us, we won't hide. They'll come out, they'll come fast. We shoot first and we can last. Keep your rifle by your side. Singing, oh Lord, His search was made for us. Singing, oh Lord, His single life has stained enough. So we'll take a stand, 'cause we must protect our land. Keep your rifle by your side. They'll come day and they'll come night. They'll have our children in their sight. But if they don't have faith, their eyes are blind. They can scream and they can shout, but they can never smoke us out. Keep your rifle by your side. Singing, oh Lord, this earth was made for us. Singing, oh Lord, this sinful life just ain't enough. When we hear the voice, we know we have no other choice. Keep your rifle by your side.
We can move up too if we have to.
They'll have bombs and they'll have tanks. They've got money in their banks. But we won't fall as long as we can.
Hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Hey, it's nice that you guys know my voice. It makes it pretty easy. How's it going out there? Is there a little group out there tonight?
We have a slightly smaller group tonight. It is raining, but we have all admirable patriots, no fair weather leaders, and Sherry half as many police officers. So, and Sherry and
Twice as many police officers. What are they doing there?
half as many.
Getting their overtime.
Oh, okay.
Getting their
Oh,
overtime.
man,
We always have a good group of police officers here on any given night because Freedom Corner is the safest place in D.C. between 7 and 9 p.m.
And what is it they're doing? Are they protecting you guys, or are they there to protect the community from you? I guess that's the real question.
Watch
They
your
protect us.
We don't make any
Oh, very cool.
Listening ears on.
All right, sounds good. Well, here we go. Paine in Chapter 3 offers nothing more than simple facts, plain arguments, and common sense. In Thomas Paine's day, he stated, men of all ranks have embarked on the controversy from different motives and various designs, but all have been ineffectual and the period of debate is closed. Arms, as the last resource, decide the contest. While history proved Paine true, and America was gloriously successful in establishing self-rule, we no longer contest with the king so far away, but with ourselves in determining truth in our day. Martin Luther King Jr. showed us the way to change the direction of the nation under the direction of the country. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional, this is his quote, Martin Luther King, I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. King exposed to the indifferent, the continued subjugation of our brothers and sisters, all brothers of mankind. When stones were cast and not thrown back, the subjugator was exposed. Law had been the enabler. No brother seeks to war with his own brother, but law alone can license outright anger. Paine recites, the sun never shined on a cause with greater worth. 'Tis not the affair of a city, a country, a province, or a kingdom, but a continent of at least 1/8 part of the habitable globe. 'Tis not the concern of a day, a year, or an age. Posterity are virtually involved in the contest, and we will be more or less affected even to the end of time by the proceedings now. These words ring true, as they always do. We must grapple with choices of men now past. We'd be wise to take advice from the future. The least fracture now, Paine describes, will be like a name engraved with the point of a pen on a tender ring of a young oak. The wound will enlarge with the tree, and posterity read it in full-grown characters. As we now feel the sting of agencies grown in corruption, we must take note the choices we make will echo far into the future. Benjamin Franklin explained, one who sacrifices freedom for security will have neither security or freedom and deserves not either. We must be conscious of the tab we create, for interest will be paid into eternity. As we struggle today under the weight of our debt, paying interest on money long gone and spent, I ask if it is wise to continue. Adopting from Paine, we have boasted the protection of a strong federal government, I'm inserting that, without considering that her motive was interest, not attachment, that she did not protect us from our enemies of our own account, but from our enemies on her own account, from those who had no quarrel with us on any other account. Today we raise troops to fight, quote, overseas, to protect us from what? Yet we ignore the continued invasion at our borders. Those who invade take our jobs or resources and do so as if entitled. What did Vietnam, Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan, Ukraine, or Iran have to do with Kansas? What caused her sons and daughters to die there? The truth is well known, commercial interests of others. Elites being entitled sacrifice our blood and treasure to profit themselves, and this seems to go on forever. Let DC, her K Street interests with ties to fat cats on Wall Street, waive their pretension to the continent, or the continent throw off the dependence, and we should be at peace with Iran and North Korea. Adopted from Paine's statements, and this is anywhere there's England, I usually insert DC, but DC is the parent, say some, then the more shame upon her conduct. Even brutes do not devour their young, nor savages make war on their families. Paine clearly states this new world hath been asylum for the persecuted lover of civil and religious liberties from every part of the globe, even the cause to head further west, and carve out a small slice of freedom. Let us not forget the call away from oppression this land continually blesses us with. My own family, drawn from Europe, came to both Jamestown and Plymouth Rock. Each generation pushed the frontier in search of further liberty and freedom. The state has never been a friend and was always there to oppress them. At one point, my family was subject to an extermination order of the state filed in Missouri and fled over the Rockies for freedom. They settled the barren land only to have it taken again, using the same means to oppress them. Brute force. They chose the protection of the oppressor, and that state was Utah. And a land once free was conquered by D.C. Paine observes then, as is true now, what have we to do with setting the world at defiance? Our plan is commerce, and that well attended to will secure us the peace and friendship of all the world, because it is in the interest of all to have America a free port. Her trade will always be a protection. Our corn will fetch its price in any market in the globe, and our imported goods must be paid for by them where we will. Policies that have quite literally killed us. From Tuskegee experiments to MK Ultra, from the Gulf of Tonkin, this government is not sufficiently lasting to ensure anything which we may bequeath posterity. And by a plain method of agreement, as we are running the next generation into debt, we ought to do the work of it. Otherwise, we use them needfully and pitifully. He explains, of those who would continue to go along this course are as follows, quote, interested men who are not to be trusted, weak men who cannot see, prejudiced men who will not see, and a certain set of moderate men who think better of D.C., Wall Street, and the elite than it deserves. And this last class, by an ill-judged deliberation, will be the cause of more calamity than all the other three. It is a good fortune of many to live distant from the scene of sorrow, that evil has not sufficiently been brought to their doors. Make them feel the precariousness of which all American property is possessed. Until you lose a family to a banker's war, or find your family ripped apart by unjust, excessive incarceration, till your body harmed by government-sponsored medical experimentation, tax for debts paid to a foreign land as bribes like to Iran, men of passive tempers look somewhat lightly over the offenses of D.C., K Street, and Wall Street, and still hoping for the best, are apt to call out, "Come, we shall be friends again for all this." Can you, hereafter, love, honor, and faithfully serve the power that hath carried fire and sword into your land? If you cannot do all these, then you are only deceiving yourselves, and by the delay bringing ruin upon posterity. If you have not been imposed upon to give your liberty, I question if you know what liberty truly is. Things once free are now licensed, regulated, registered, and certified. Every dollar exchange tax and all right to privacy is mere privilege at best. Paine declares, and I also, I mean not to exhibit horror for the purpose of provoking revenge, but to awaken us from unmanly slumbers, that we may pursue determinately some fixed object. Never can the true reconcilement grow where wounds of deadly hate have pierced so deep. Time has displayed without any doubt the inability to hold true wrongdoers to account. Entire agencies, departments, and mere armies take strength in their numbers and unopposition to violate and injure. Redress of our grievances has become but a platitude. Once precedent sets in, one false flag leads to another. Once the first check is cashed, the medical labs grow into monsters, creating a disease to then search for a cure. While no one seems the wiser, Paine petitions, instead of going forward, we shall go backward, or be perpetually quarreling or religiously petitioning. America is only a secondary object in the system of D.C. politics. D.C. consults the good of this country no farther than it answers her own purpose. A government which cannot preserve the peace is no government at all. And in that case, we pay money for nothing and pay what it is that D.C. can do, whose power will be wholly on paper. D.C., the elite, Wall Street are nothing, but for the people of America and the power of deference we give them to rule. What do they have to offer? A title and station that we do not grant. As full on display for the world to see, Texas must defend its own border. An invasion, though called by other names, is still an invasion. D.C. has no resource save it be those the states allow it. Quoting Dragonati, Paine says, the science of the politicians consists in fixing the true point of happiness and freedom. Those men would deserve the gratitude of ages who should discover a mode of government that contained the greatest sum of individual happiness with the least national expense. Should the law of God and rational men be king to do no injury, to not trespass with every injury a remedy provide, I tell you, friend, that does not make havoc of mankind. Paine expresses that in free countries the law is king, and there ought to be no other. What does the conscious cry? To every moment to do what's right, to do no injury, do not trespass, and all will ultimately be right. There are injuries that cannot be forgiven. For a government to violate this law held higher than the rest. O ye that love mankind, Paine excites. Ye that dare oppose not only tyranny but the tyrant, stand forth. Your spot of the world is overrun with oppression. Freedom hath been hunted round the globe. The world regards her like a stranger, and give her warning to depart. O receive the fugitive, and prepare in time an asylum for mankind. This may be declared, America is home of the brave, the home of the free, but only if you're brave.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you guys for letting me read that. I know that we don't have a lot of discussion there, but as I read common sense, I just think, this is just common sense. And tomorrow we're going to talk about political parties and how political parties have really taken over the system. And it's kind of usurped the power of we the people by giving us essentially the lesser of two evils as our choice every single time we run an election. And I really appreciate you guys giving me the chance to read this. It's I've sure learned a lot. I don't promote violence in any way. I look at this as when we see what's happening in our country with clear eyes, that's the only way we can fix the problems. It's because people decided to put politics over reality that we are allowing an invasion on our southern border, to the point that, there's so much conflict over what should seem so obvious, to stop the invasion. Nobody is against illegal immigration, nobody is against immigration when it's done the legal way. But everybody, almost universally, is against illegal immigration. And though you call it humanitarian, or though you call it by another name, it's still ultimately an invasion.
Yeah, right.
And there's so many other things like that. The COVID medical experimentation. The country participated in an experiment, and we just kind of look past it. Yeah, we look past the stuff with a blind eye, and precedent sets precedent. And it's not some kind of manifesto or declaration. It's just simply, look, this is what's happening in our country. I mean, we know from the Panama Papers, the Pentagon Papers, that a lot of the wars we've been involved in the last 70 years have been bankers' wars, right? They've been wars of personal interest, no different than the kings who used to go to war over who knows what silly squabble. And it's we, the people, who've paid in blood and treasure. So I thank you guys for allowing this platform for me to share these thoughts, and I just really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Taylor. I just want to say that we're talking about American blood and everything you are talking about. That this country won't say we're at war. We had 3 servicemen die in the Middle East today, and several others wounded, even though they won't say we're at war. So while this country's busy dicking around with the lives of average American citizens and imprisoning our American patriots,
you have 1 minute remaining.
This is how they choose to handle things. So.
Yeah, it's true, and a lot of times people don't want to say we're at war because they just want to deny that 1 + 1 = 2. And it's like, well, put what war means down on paper and show me how our current situation doesn't fit that definition. And maybe the truth is we've been at war for a long, long, long time, right? Maybe it's the acquiescence of time that gives us the ability to rationalize that which is wrong. So thank you guys so much. GetSinGo.com/John Attackis Family Help for those of you that feel so inspired. And thank you guys so much for the time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you for...
So it is supposed to be we the people, right? And the government is supposed to work for us. And I'm not saying you specifically out there should not go pay your taxes, but why are we funding it? Why are we funding a government that is not working for us, that is working against our own interests? I mean, if everybody cohesively said no, I think that would pretty much put a halt to the government for a minute, and they would have to say, oh shit, wait a minute, let's go back to the drawing board. I mean, I'd like to say they can't arrest us all, but we all know they can. So I'm just saying, like, we left England and we fought England because of taxation without representation, and I'm pretty sure that they are not representing us. They are representing their own personal agendas and their own backdoor deals. They do not care about we the people. So I don't know why we're funding it. We're funding Ukraine. We are funding Israel. We are funding
We're letting our veterans sleep on the
transgender
streets.
studies in Afghanistan. I mean, I don't freaking get it. And we're letting our veterans die in the streets. It's shameful. Somehow we don't have enough money for $5 billion to build a border wall, but we had $700 billion for a war that we don't have anything to do with, that has nothing to do with us. And really, it's just a big money laundering scheme for the big guy, right?
Right.
That's what it's been. And for many other politicians, and that's why these Republicans won't say boo. Because they're in on it too. Their hands are just as filthy. They're all covered in shit.
That's right, Tammy. I concur.
Horsemen they are. Hi, Morgan, Texas. Glad to see you on here.
Money laundering scheme for the big guy.
Dominic hasn't called in yet, so he should be coming in close.
Overtime, Howard.
Didn't get to say hi to a lot of people. Taylor was talking, so he'll die. I'll say hi to
It's a damn
let
shame
somebody else.
what the world's gotten to. People like me,
Hi, Birdie.
people like you. Wish I could just wake up and not be true, but it is. Oh, it
Hi,
is.
Keith, Texas.
I haven't in a while.
Hi, Andy.
With holes,
Hi, Sean.
rich man knows the rich man. Lord knows it all. Just wanna be told
With a K, no C.
know what you think.
I'll throw it to
Know
you.
what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. The dollar ain't shit, and it's taxing on
Rainy
me.
Sunday night.
Rich
We're
man, rich man.
gonna be here no matter what. Sleet will be here. Please,
Wish politicians look out for minors.
please stay on and
Minors
have
on an island
Wi-Fi problems
somewhere.
over here.
Lord, we got
So,
folks in the street,
goes
ain't
out
got
for some
nothing to
reason.
eat, and
Back
we
up.
hold these milk and welfare.
Hi, Gene.
God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on taking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. People like me, people like you, wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is.
How's it going? This is Mark Brew.
Hey, Mark. It's pretty fun.
Can you hear me okay?
Hey, Mary.
Excellent.
How are you this evening?
What's that?
How are you this evening?
I am doing okay. I have been contemplating the things that are going on geopolitically and with the disagreements that are escalating between those who want to remain in central control and those who want to not be. And I think that I put in a grievance, emergency grievance, that I stay in this pod until we're either somebody gets a clue and rescues us out of this situation, or I'm fully released. I've been thinking the variables in transit and the way I've been treated on the way over here, and put in harm's way at different jails. I don't trust the system, and especially when they have carte blanche to do whatever they want to do and bribe whoever they want to bribe to do what they want to do. We've seen it 1,000 times. You've got a channel on a TV that's called Prison Planet that you can watch all of it happen. So it's not unfounded. It doesn't come from nothing. and I've basically exposed the judiciary for being human trafficking money grabbers. And so that's not an easy thing to do, and it's not really a safe thing to do. But I'm willing to do it if it just wakes people up and gets them out of that nepotistic bubble that they're in.
So when did you file that motion?
It's in the grievance box right now.
Ah. Well, good luck with that.
Yep. And so they have on their thing, they say, give them 5 days or whatever, but because it's an emergency, they don't have the 5 days. They have to respond to it immediately. And I need assurance that I will not leave this pod until a remedy has been, a negotiation has been made for the release of J6ers.
All right. Well, other than that, what else is going on?
I had top ramen for dinner.
Yeah. Did you add anything to it?
Some fish sticks?
I try not to add too much stuff. I had some sausage in there and some sausage and a little bit, a couple spoons full of jalapeno and cheddar cheese. But I try not to put too much stuff in, too much sodium.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything you have is sodium.
Yeah, can't tell you.
Jalapeno, I would have never thought to put jalapeno cheese in top ramen. Is it good?
Yeah, it's just kind of like a soupy macaroni and cheese, kind of thing. Just need some beer, and I can make a beer cheese soup.
There you go. You guys are going to have to do a prison cookbook.
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll write down a prison recipe for jailhouse tamales.
All right.
Wow.
Y'all should put one together.
Yeah, no jokes. We can auction it off, and
Yeah.
it'll be great. It'll get $11 million at auction. We'll split that
Right.
7 ways.
I think there was already I don't know, some people or some guys in jail that thought of that and put that one out because I'm referencing that because we were talking about it earlier. Somebody had already put out a prison cookbook, or jailhouse cookbook or something like that.
I haven't seen it, and they certainly weren't J6 jailhouse cooks.
Yeah, we need a gulag one.
Where you guys pull
Well, that's
your
true.
resources, where you guys pull your resources and have holiday dinners and stuff. That's probably unique to this very situation. And I just want to say, I don't think your grievance will do one damn bit of good because of the system we're fighting. But I applaud your tenacity and your ingenuity. And that's one more way to come at it. So good for you.
Well, here's the thing: whether it works or not, it doesn't matter. It only further criminalizes their actions and shows their intent. So if they don't take human rights seriously, and if they don't see that they're running a human trafficking operation, then I think it's clear that America needs to make it obsolete ASAP. We can't be in a country and call ourselves, guided by God or in God we trust or in anything that has to do with God if we're allowing human trafficking on a industrial level.
Right.
That's true.
And then the authoritarians say, well, what about that random dude that walks up and kills somebody? What are you going to do with them? And I'm like, well, if you put in an environment where people aren't mentally ill and there's prosperity and education, then you won't have those issues.
Well, I think you're always going to have some people doing bad shit.
No, I don't. I don't think so. I think that's the cause of a degraded mind. And if you train your people well, train them better, then and that starts with putting the homes back together and getting families back together and giving them prosperity. This is the cancer that is in our country, which ultimately is in the body of Christ.
and that is that the family nucleus is broken and it allows decay. And so in order to promote that and put it back together, we have to create an environment in which men feel as if they have an environment to properly raise a family, and the proper education and the proper funds to do so, and the support from the government rather than the overtaxation and oppression that prevents us from doing it.
That's true. That is all true.
I don't disagree that would lessen the amount of crime, but I think that wherever you have a society of people, you're going to have a certain amount of crime. So, I mean,
It might be possible. I mean, I guess if you believe it that way. But the thing is idle hands, are the devil's playground or workshop or whatever. So you've got to train the attention, and so you've got to give people hope and ingenuity and self-agency that they are the ones that create their future, and if they want a future of destruction, that leads to destruction, then they're going to experience that level of outcome. But it's not going to be carte blanche. It's going to be a one in a million type scenario. It's not going to be like it is now, where 12-year-olds are shooting girls in the head, and running off thinking that they're tough kids.
right. No, I
That's a
definitely,
product of
agree
product of a father's not in a home.
that's what I was going to say. I definitely agree with strengthening the family unit would definitely lessen crime, especially juvenile crime. Yeah.
Juveniles they live in some kind of fantasy land. I was watching a program the other day, and it was a 14-year-old kid had shot another 14-year-old kid, and he said, well, it was just bird shot, so he could just go get it removed at the hospital. But the kid was dead. Like, he just could not comprehend that bird shot killed his friend. No, you killed your friend because you shot him.
Yeah.
And
Well, what do you think it's doing to your kids to put them in front of a tablet or a cell phone and have it babysit your kid, or a TV?
right, and
You're letting popular society train your child. And what is on TV all the time?
garbage.
Sex, violence, and you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sex and violence.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And the government's been doing a good job of destroying the nuclear family for many decades. And, it used to be, you don't need a mom and a dad. One parent can do it by themselves. And now the government says your parents are no good. The government knows better. And as a matter of fact, you should spy on your parents and come tell us all about it. And I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting that the government is in step with the school board associations that are saying that parents don't have the right to know what their kids are being taught in schools. They don't have the right to know specifically what's happening with their own children. I think it's disgusting. I think it's part of a bigger evil plot, and I think people are starting to wake up to that fact.
If you look on the front of the school, even though it says it's a public school, it is not. It's a private membership. Whereas when you walk through the door, it's assumed that you are giving care, custody, and control over your child over to that body politic, or that's private membership. So in a sense, they're kind of correct in that sense. If you don't want your kid to be subjected to unlicensed or unauthorized shots or LGBT garbage, then don't take them there. Stop it. Stop subjecting your children to elements in which you do not have control.
Exactly. And, consider the education that they're getting in public schools. Is it worth it? I mean, you're paying all these taxes, property taxes, and
Just the
school
babysitting.
taxes for your
all it
kids
is,
to
it's
be in fifth
babysitting
grade
right
and not
now.
be able to speak a full
My
sentence
mom can go
coherently
to,
or read properly or even do simple math.
I know people that can't even read
What
the
education?
road
That is
signs.
non-existent.
But they are being taught about their little privacy
weaponized. It's diversity politics and a bunch of other crap.
Right.
You know, they're basically creating these little micro environments of chaos.
Right. Yeah, it's disturbing. It's all a giant. We are all part of giant experiments that our government thinks that we are ants and we are unworthy. So we are the literal guinea pigs of mad scientists, and we can see that from the chemtrails in the skies to the poisoning of our water, of our food. I mean, you go to the grocery store and 75% of what's in that store is inedible. And in other countries is illegal. So it makes you wonder.
Yep. Yeah, and it makes you wonder just how prolific the foreign influence is as well. I mean, I hear from, pro-American Chinese people that are supporting, us J6ers. I hear from them that in Florida, nobody showed up to oppose a bill that would allow the CCP ultimately to buy properties and sell them, except for Chinese who were against the CCP. And they ended up losing because China's putting a lot of money into it. So they bought the vote, and
Right.
Americans were clueless. Anybody else was clueless about this vote. It's not just, we're not living on an island. You know, we have to support each other and all these things that these Chinese refugees that actually came from Maoist China to escape oppression, the Tibetans and all that. We need to support them as much as possible as well.
Absolutely. And
You have 1 minute remaining.
I don't understand how communist China is allowed to even buy property in America, to buy farmland, to buy water rights. I don't get it. Why are we selling this to our enemy? Why are we selling ourselves to our enemy?
It's a power vacuum. If you're giving them your tacit consent and allowing it and not pointing it out that it's wrong, everywhere you go, then you're tacitly consenting to it. That's just the way it is. There is no middle ground where people can just do nothing and go their own way and not engage life.
Right. Well, before we get hung up on, you want to get your gifts and go out, Mark?
Yeah, my gifts and go is January J6_ politically persecuted. Politically _persecuted. And I did find out it isn't in my name, so they can. Thank you for using gold.
Ha ha. Ha ha. So you can't take something that's not his from him.
Right.
Shucks. That is a number one rule, right?
Well, it used to be.
Well,
They
I'm
do
sure
make
that
up their
I'm
special
sure,
J6
I'm sure they'll
rules.
find a way. But I do not give my consent for communist China to own any of the water rights or farmland of this country. So I just wanted to declare that right now so that nobody thinks that I'm giving my tacit consent.
Me either.
Do you want to declare your?
I don't think that they should be able to buy property here either. And interesting enough, you can't do that in Mexico doesn't let you buy property down there. You can lease it. You can lease it for 99 years, but you can't own it. It's not something you can own and pass down to your family. But just nothing this country does anymore makes sense. Nothing, and they sneak all this shit in on you while I guess we're sleeping. And in defense
Those
of
omnibus bills.
it is those omnibus bills. They don't have single issue bills anymore, and that is for the strict reason of pulling the wool over Americans' eyes. Now, they put the first thing on the bill is, let's stop drunk driving, and you think, oh well, that sounds like a good idea. But then if you read further in that bill, there's shit that nobody would ever vote for, and that's why it happens like that.
That's right.
And we also have to think about who's appointing these federal judges, and why is it a lifetime judgeship? why don't we have term limits? Why don't we, all these things that have allowed people to ingrain themselves in just a monarchy-based power ship in this country. So I don't know anything other to say than to wake up, because they're pulling the wool over everybody's eyes.
Wake up.
Living in a world with an whole soul. These rich men know the rich men, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, because your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, cause the rich men know the rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours, bullshit pain.
I hear you sing today. That's good cantaloupe.
World getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. Waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blaze out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
Hello. How we doing, Freedom Corner? He says.
Who is it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get you on the mic in time. Is this Chris?
This is the DNC show. Unquestionably, DC's hottest new podcast, coming to you live from the DC jail with two guys whose names just happen to start with the letter C and C. We're topping the charts in that category. That's it. I was told even the big guy thinks because he wants to see what half of the country really thinks of him. Before we get into this thing, absolutely. Hey, before we get into this thing, I gotta give a big shout out to the Kansas City Fighting Taylor Swift for dispatching the Baltimore Ravens 17-10. I don't think I've heard any boos yet, but despite Taylor Swift's undeniable affiliation with whatever globalist agenda the Biden administration and others have going on with her Travis Kelce's Pfizer bro boyfriend, originally being from Missouri, I got to give a shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs. Even if they're not the greatest show on turf, like the St. Louis Rams, may they rest in peace. Yeah, shout out Kansas City. I mean, the power didn't go out, so I guess the riots in the jail weren't that bad after they both were long. So, Gross Jankowski, who we interviewed a few times on here, who, as you guys know, is deaf, getting extremely excited, and I don't mean to be negative or critical in any way. I get not just mad, but irate at his quarterback in an AFC championship game was something I don't think I'll ever be able to adequately describe. It was something else. It woke me up. It woke me up. Good old Chewbacca. How are you doing, guys? It's Sunday night? Yes, Sunday night. Yeah.
Sunday night, Flick It for Freedom night.
Right.
It's raining a bit. It's raining a bit, but Deb just brought us some pizzas and we got coffee and fruit.
Hey, go Deb.
I know.
Well, there you go.
So we're not doing too
There
bad.
you go. See, I think I heard you say it's raining out there. I know we talk a lot about the issues of being in jail here in the Patriot Pod, but I gotta say, one of the nice things is whether it's raining or 100 million degrees in the cell, I can wear the same shoes and outfit every day. Chris, wouldn't you agree? Yeah. There's I hope you guys have some party and a couple tie-dye shirts out today. Let the record reflect that Curtis Logan says, unless he was looking to make a fast decision, does not know what personal whites are because he got those confused with his personal blankets. There's so Billy, before he left, Billy Freshman, was throw his wife in with a blanket, and he was like, use tie and tie up the white shirt, and he would make tie-dye shirts. Imagine like an acid wash t-shirt, and that's what we're doing. It's an acid wash tie-dye. It's a nice way to break up the monotony. Yeah. So Kate is rocking that.
What color are we talking about?
It's like a rock blue, like a blue gray. Blue gray, yeah. Whereas everybody else is
You have 1 minute remaining.
Looks like, hey guys, it looks like this is just a 5-minute call, so we'll probably call back here in just a second. Yeah, 3 seconds we'll call back. Talk about more than just the beautiful fashion we're all making here. Yeah. We'll call you back in 30 seconds.
Okay. Bye.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspecting something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, blind, not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey guys.
And just like that. Hey guys, just like that. We are back. To switch it up, I want to say, listen, to all of these people out here who are begging America to turn into a socialist country and have socialist medical, healthcare. Socialist healthcare out there. Like our friend in Canada, like Canada, or jail. Just letting you guys know, I still haven't now. I've received an MRI. Now it's been 4 months. I received an MRI. Haven't had it read yet. So it's been 2 weeks since I actually received it, I think, or a week and a half. Haven't had it read yet. My knee hurts every day. It's starting to work out again. Still haven't gotten a shot, the shot, steroid shot, cortisone shot in the shoulder. That's only been 11 months. Give a big old shout out to Socialism Healthcare.
Well, yeah.
Socialism Healthcare.
So the healthcare system is just for the illegal immigrants and the other people on, government aid, because the rest of us out here can't afford it.
Well, I mean, yeah, if they needed your vote, I mean, it's cheaper to allow them just to jump the fence and then have them vote illegally than it is to sway you.
I just wanted to get on the record that, as we mentioned before, I know I speak for myself, likely Chris as well, I will gladly trade places with any illegal immigrant that found themselves here in the nation's capital, needs a place to stay. I know of a, not going to call it a great place, but a place that's, 3 hots in a cot.
Well, too hot. Well, sort of too hot. Moderately hot. And then, let's call it 1 hot and a cot.
But you got hot if it gets there on top. Yeah. But definitely willing to trade places with any of our illegal immigrants. I want to be taught.
And to the Johnsons who wrote me, I need to write you back. But to the Johnsons and other people who seem to look me up on the federal database, I am not released. I wish I was. But no, I'm not released. I wasn't released, a year ago. That's just when I left the DOC, or 2 years ago, or whatever it was. That's when I left the the VOC. And now I'm in the VOC. So I'm no longer going by my VOC federal inmate ID.
It brings up another point. I'm sure Mama Lily and Dwight are out there. There seems to be a common thread or a common issue with not just contact information being shared. I know when I was locked in isolation for 14 days in Petersburg, they wouldn't even communicate and tell my family where I was. They had to look it up on the database, no phone calls. But I know Miss Lily, who's likely out there right next to you guys on Freedom's Corner right now, sends letters in here that sometimes get returned 3, 4, if not 5 times, occasionally telling her that the individual's been released. And it really shouldn't be hard to keep track of, quote unquote, some of the most dangerous men in America. At least let our friends and family know where we're at and don't give out inaccurate information. We don't expect to get information all the time, but at least, those of you on the outside should be treated with access to accurate information, I would say. That's not too much to ask.
No, it's not. Just throwing out names. Also, Karen Saffron. Thank you for keeping an eye on. She also has celiac. And thank you for keeping an eye on my case. Yes, I wouldn't say come yet to sentencing date on 220 because it's supposed to be pushed back. Supposedly, I don't know. But if it does happen to be on 220, boy, are there going to be some fireworks. I'm not holding back this whole.
Last time somebody was on this line and said there was going to be a show, we had feds writing about it. So I'm sure the feds.
Oh well. You know what? They can write all they want.
What's that? Somebody's already
write all they want. But by fireworks, I mean I'm going to give them the 3rd degree.
You don't have anything to say.
Yeah, no, I never have anything to say. As far as the, I guess the lawyer now has received this 27-page thing that I read off to you guys, and it will be getting dropped off to the judge momentarily during the next he says things and then doesn't write them down on the record. You remember them being said. You need to be perfectly clear with saying, hey, I remember this, I remember this, I remember this, and we're calling you out on it.
It's really not to speculate as to what Chris may or may not say or what may happen at his sentencing day. I just want to remind everybody out there, it's crazy to sit in here and read some of the things that prosecutors and different departments write about in these sentencing memorandums, and of course the mainstream media after the fact about the way people have behaved, leading up to or during their sentencing. You have I mean, it's very easy to look at things under a microscope and take things out of context, but people have to remember that this January 6th experience is not just what happened on January 6th. It's not just what happened at the several court dates that, we have leading up to our eventual sentencing, but it's been every single day since then, and it's come at us from all ways. So I've had, we hear about the things that people say about, our friends and our neighbors that are in here, and, I just want to remind people that this whole thing has been a pressure cooker for 3 years, and some of these guys, like the guy sitting next to me right now, have literally been behind bars for almost every day of it. So I just want to say, Chris, we love you. We want the best for you. But whoever's going to write about it, just know that this guy's got 3 years worth of. I mean, I've seen it, documentation to back up anything that he may say, and it goes for everybody that's been. We don't want to talk about other people on here, but another guy was recently sentenced, and reading just the articles that they say, all this, extremist rhetoric, and he's been radicalized since being in jail, and this happened before he went in. It's just like, nobody on the outside that hasn't experienced this has any room to judge anything other than the facts as they appear, because this has been an experience for us, for our families, for everybody we know, and lives have been, no matter how things shake out, irreparably changed. I just wanted to get that off and
or ended. Or ended.
I have to say that, calling someone an extremist for being in January 6th and then ripping them away from their family prematurely, and ripping them away from their family, from their home, from their lives, and saying that they're too extreme to be with their newborn, let's say, son, or being with their wife and before that girlfriend of 15 years. Those things anchored someone down. So if you think someone was extreme on January 6th, you're kind of playing with fire. Just saying. I mean, if you're going to radicalize someone, it is a pretty good way to do it. Just saying. But with that being said, I love my country. I love the Constitution. I love our founding fathers. I hate what it's become. It's a shame because what I'm looking at, what I'm reading every day in the news, isn't America. It's some Twilight Zone marathon that won't end. It's George Orwell, 1984. It's Animal Farm. It's absolutely disgusting. And quite frankly, I'm disgusting with not only the DOJ, the FBI, Christopher Wray, Merrick Garland. It just shows that these people have been planning this and working and playing the long game for a very, very long time. Lady Justice is supposed to be one. It obviously has not been in the January 16th. When you're court appointed liberal
as hell new lawyer says, and says, what do you want me to do for you? What do you want me to do? Because guess what? You can't win here. Well, you don't think I can get a fair trial? Hell no, you can't get a fair trial.
I've never, I'm not somebody, this is not my, I've had a few minor run-ins with the law before, and I've never, under any misdemeanor case or any other situation where I found myself, facing possibility of going into a courtroom, but I had an attorney tell me that, now there's absolutely no chance we're going to win on anything, right? And it's just, I think ultimately, what happens in the courtroom for all of us is going to be what happens. But the way that we, the people, can turn this horrifyingly negative situation into a positive is by education, is by being out of places like Freedom Corner, is by listening to the truth, watching the videos, sharing the stories, and breaking through this narrative that's been created about not just this situation, but what's going on down in Texas, what was going on during, the P word, during the pandemic, and all of that. And knowledge and educated people can't be stopped. And we're seeing things, it feels like to me, even behind bars here in the DC jail, it feels like things are trending in our direction. But ultimately, we need people, we need you. We need you guys to continue sharing the truth, sharing our stories, getting out to our sentencing hearings, writing the letters, and doing what we can't do for ourselves, and that's be the light in the darkness and be the voice in the street saying, hey, here's the truth, follow me.
Yeah, guys, listen, January 6th didn't become January 6th. Forget about being a black flag operation and everything else. But January 6th, these people that are arrested here, it's not like we just had nothing to lose. Yeah, okay? It wasn't. It was about people who had everything to lose, but were willing to lose it for the greater good. And to protest and to give their Second Amendment or First Amendment rights. First Amendment right out there. And
grievances, if you will.
The Second Amendment wasn't used. This was not an insurrection. You would have known it if it was. And it to call it that and to call it something that it wasn't for 3 years now, it's disgusting.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Time, guys. I know you guys got to go. Listen, we love you. We'll call you back tomorrow, as always.
Dominic Fox here.
And Chris Waglin.
387-287.
All right. We love you guys. All right. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Love you, Patriots.
Just in time. I don't know what I did. All right, we're going to do the roll call. For those lives lost on January 6th, Ashley Babbitt, Roseanne Boyland, Kevin Greason, Benjamin Phillips, and on the next day, Officer Brian Signick, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
For those detained, Justin Adams, Michael Adams, Thomas Adams, Tommy Allen, Chris Albert, Russell Alford, Noah Bacon, Edward Badalion, Daniel Ball, Thomas Ballard, Logan Barnhart, Richard Barnett, Colleen Bauer, Julio Bequero, Matthew Bedingfield, Luke Bender, Joe Biggs, Aiden Billiard, Craig Bingert, Joshua Black, Matthew Bledsoe, Kenneth Bonowitz, Dominic Bach, Brandon Bradshaw, Larry Brock, Jeffrey Brown, Jeremy Brown, Mark Brew, Daniel Caldwell, William Calhoun, Jared Cantrell, Jacob Clark, Cale Clayton, Stephen Capuccio, Matthew Caspel, Billy Cressman, Reed Christensen, Dylan Cronin, Josiah Colt, Mason Corson, Bruno Cua, Matthew De Silva, Nicholas DiCarlo, Nathan DeGrave, David Dempsey, Lucas Denny, Robert Dennis, Timothy DeJargens, Michael Dickinson, Joshua Doolin, Michael Eckerman, James Elliott, Daniel Eggbeck, Brandon Fellows, Kyle Fitzsimons, Kevin Goletto, Mitchell Gardner, Robert Gieswein, David Geetson, Vincent Gillespie, Vitaly Goshchenkowski, Jeffrey Grace, James Grant, Matthew Green, Brian Gunderson, Joseph Hackett, Stacey Hager, Kenneth Harrelson, Johnny Harris, Richard Harris, Joshua Haynes, Donald Hazard, Albuquerque Head, Andrew Hernandez, Joshua Hernandez, Eric Herrera, Joseph Howe, Joshua Hughes, Jared Hughes, Joseph Hutchinson, Ryan Jackson, Jane Jenkins, Douglas Jensen, Justin Jersey, Joshua Johnson, Taylor Jonatakis, David Judd, Leo Kelly, Brian Kelly, Julian Qatar, Federico Klein, Matthew Kroll, Nicholas Langren, Daniel Leeden, Joseph Leeden, Luke Lentz, Michael Lockwood, Joshua Lawler, Kevin Lyons, Marcus Malley, Christian Manley, Cody Matisse, James Malt, Christopher Maurer, Mark Mazza, Ronald Maccabee, Patrick McCoffey, James McGrew, Sean McHugh, Jeffrey McKellop, James McNamara, Connie Meggs, Kelly Meggs, Jonathan Mellis, Rodney Millstreet, Matthew Miller, Scott Miller, Jordan Mink, Robert Menuda, Landon Mitchell, David Marshall, Robert Morse, Christopher Moynihan, Jonathan Munifo, Daryl Neely, Ryan Nichols, Kirsten Niemola, Gregory Nix, Ethan Nordine, Nicholas Ox, Grady Owens, Jason Owens, Joseph Padilla, Robert Palmer, Michael Perkins, Dominic Pizzola, Daniel Phipps, Mark Ponder, Jonathan Pollock, Olivia Pollock, Rachel Powell, Sean Price, Joshua Pruitt, Chris Quaglin, Gary Ramey, Guy Reffitt, Zach Reel, Mariana Reiner, Stuart Rhodes, Howard Richardson, George Riley, Thomas Robertson, Michael Roberts, Michael Roche, Jonathan Rockholt, Daniel Rodriguez, Greg Rubenacker, Jeffrey Sable, Brian Samsel, Ronald Sandlin, Salvador Sandoval, Robert Sanford, Peter Schwartz, Daniel Scott, Christian Secor, Hunter Seafried, Kevin Seafried, Grayson Sherrill, Alexander Shepard, Thomas Civic, Jeffrey Sills, Mikhail Sly, Charles Smith, Tommy Smith, Kelly Sorrell, Audrey Southard, Hatchet Speed, Yvonne St. Cyr, Peter Stager, Shelley Stallings, Patrick Stedman, Laura Steele, Tristan Stevens, John Strand, Tara Stottlemyre, Isaac Sturgeon, Alan Swinney, Andrew Taki, Enrique Tario, Curtis Tate, George Tenney, Jacob Fairs, Isaac Thomas, Devlin Thompson, Justin Thompson, Edward Vallejo, Salvatore Vassallo, Jason Wallace, Jessica Watkins, William Watson, Matthew Webler, Thomas Webster, Bradley Weeks, Sandra Weir, Jack Witten, Anthony Williams, Riley Williams, Timothy Williams, Duke Wilson, Ricky Wilden, Shane Woods, Chris Worrell, John Wright, Gregory Yetman, Isaac Yoder, and Kyle Young. And those we've lost to suicide, Christopher Georgia, Matthew Perna, Mark Unks, and George Meacham. Rest in peace. I would say her name.
Ashley Babbitt, Ashley Babbitt, Ashley Babbitt, Ashley Babbitt, Ashley Babbitt.
Was a victim, I'm screaming USA, free the real Jan Sixers. She's a patriot who was let down by the system. I'm screaming for the fallen so nobody will forget them. Air Force veteran, wrapped in a Trump flag, it's Trump 24. You know we about to run it back, nothing will stop us. We about to get it right. They can try and try, but the storm is here from dark to light. Ashley Babbitt. won't be taken in vain. Shout out Sarah McAfee, yeah, I'm sending you straight. I hope they let your husband out of that prison today. Ashley served in Afghanistan, she served in Iraq, and she died for her country from a senseless attack. Yeah, we waiting for justice, cause Ashley was innocent. Mainstream won't cover it, they all just too ignorant. If a white girl shot a black man, they would say that's different, but the story didn't fit the agenda they pitching. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt, we feeling your energy. Say her name, Ashley Babbitt, the song for your memory. Rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt, 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 say her name, 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 Ashley Babbitt.
$24.94.
We're rich.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey.
Hey, what is going on outside in the free world?
It's raining.
We're living.
You guys
Living in a free
at least got your duck suits on and your booties, and are you warm?
We are. We're not doing too bad. And we got pizza, Dead Bros Pizza. We have coffee and snacks and stuff, so life's not too bad on here. Unfortunately, though, our flag is upside down because our police service members
Yes, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me give you the 3-minute warning. Hold on. Wait a minute! I don't know if 3-minute warning is the right word, but yes, I did hear that there were 3 service members killed over at the Red Sea area. Is that correct? I do not have the details on that, so if there's anything that you know or would like to discuss, the door is open.
It was an unmanned drone strike, as far as I know, and 3 servicemen were killed and many were injured. So it's just so sad. And I think that they say 3 like that's not enough, but there were so many injured. The other day we had like 25 traumatic brain injuries, and they tell you 3 people died, but they don't tell you how many are gonna.
There's 3 dead and 25 injured, and the other day was 125 traumatic brain injuries.
3 dead and 25 injured, and the other day there was like 125. Is that right, Tammy? 125 traumatic brain injuries?
Yes.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was the other day. 125 traumatic brain injuries. But this freaking country won't tell you they're at war.
I'll have to do some homework on that. I think that wasn't on a ship. That was actually in Syria, or and that was Iran that was backing the Houthis that did that. Forgive me, I don't know the specifics of it.
It was in Jordan. It was in Jordan, and the two men that died the other day fell off of a ship ladder and weren't recovered at sea.
Navy SEALs.
They were Navy SEALs.
Yes. All right, we've got the 1 minute until 9 o'clock. Let me do what I do. Hold on. 1 minute! 1 minute! Mr. Ball!
Ball!
We've got about 15 seconds. They go Broncos, but they're not playing.
Go Chiefs!
Ready, 3, 2, 1. Oh, say, can you stay? Tell me about you guys. What's going on?
Well, we were out here flicking it for freedom, Jeff.
Oh, my gosh. I have it written down on my hand. F4F. My bad. Good gosh. Yes. I need a bigger sign.
We flicked it.
Oh.
It's okay. It's real good.
I feel so disappointed people. I even asked somebody to send a tweet out about that. Man,
Well, we
all right,
did
I'm going
it.
to have to solve that problem.
We were
Okay.
flicking it. We were flicking it, and
well.
all of our live streamers knew to flick it. So there were people out here flicking it, Jeff. It was just you. Right, you're the only one that forgot.
Okay. Well,
stand in the corner.
all right, I will solve that on my end because that's the second time I have done that, and I feel like a heel. So, and like I said, what we're going to do is when it gets to Trump and his trial, is switch it over to every night while we're singing the anthem. So I will solve that on my end. My bad. Anyways, let's see. What do we got for info, news, anything come across your desk other than of course, the tragic loss of 3 service members today?
No, but I just have to talk about that one more time because it's so awful. Because, you know, just the way that when people, when the news media talks about it, and even the military press secretary that talks about, just when he says, you know, he talks about them like they're not people. So I just want to acknowledge the fact that there are families hurting out there tonight, and just remember that everybody is somebody's son. So it's just sad. Just sad.
Yes, her daughter.
Well, yes, or not. Okay, what do you have? Do you have anything to snap us out of that doom and gloom for a second? Because I don't know, there's just no good news.
I've got one small thing. It's not much, but I heard that today, and it was in Newsweek, I believe, and someone also sent me the quote, but I did not write it down.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, while Biden was talking at a rally someplace, it was today or yesterday, Biden called Trump the sitting president.
He did.
And of course, his team. Go ahead.
Yeah, that happened. That did happen.
Yeah. His team tried to downplay it, and you can't downplay that. Either some of the guys in here came up with about 3 options of why this could be happening, or why he could have said that. Number 1, because it's the actual truth. Number 2, he's senile. Number 3, it's an actor, which goes along with number 4, which is it's still the real Biden, but he is being told what to say and do because there's treason charges against him. Now, I'm just relaying the options. You all make your own decisions. Was it just a natural screw-up? But,
Hey, Jeff.
So, go ahead.
So I did read an article earlier that said that Biden was charged, tried, convicted, and murdered and killed for treason, and that this Biden that we see is an actor.
I don't believe that. I think it was just
I've been hearing
I
that.
saw it on the
all
internet,
of
so it's
them.
got to be true.
People are talking about that. I think it's A and B.
It's just not
I think it's
him.
A and B. I think that was a slip of what was true, and I think he's senile. And now when he talks on TV, I swear this is true. I swear to God, they put subtitles up underneath of him so you can understand what he's saying, because he's just one big slurred together sentence.
He has to take Adderall to get on stage.
Well, all you really have to do is to put a young girl in front of him so that we can watch his nose color.
Well, I don't know, but when he's got stuff to say, it's not coming out of his mouth so clearly. Literal subtitles. Especially
Hey,
the other day when he was trying to scream and yell and get all excited about Trump, he really got all over it. Okay, so what's other stuff?
What about the commander-in-chief?
Well, I was just going to touch on some of the other things from the other day. Being that today's a Sunday, it's slow day. I've only got one other thing that I found interesting that I did touch on yesterday. today, which Senate passes a bill to remove Raffensperger from the Board of Elections and grant the board authority to investigate him. That's got a lot of weight to that one. That says a tremendous amount, I wouldn't even say between the lines, tremendous amount in the lines of what it's saying. I mean, removing him from the Board of Elections and then investigating him? Oh, fascinating. Fascinating. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I'm saying?
Tammy said they might just find those 20,000 votes. I know another thing, like you were, we talked the other night about if the commander-in-chief can be somebody other than the president. So somebody was going to look into that. It wasn't me.
Now, I did find in the Constitution, U.S. Constitution, I think it's Article 2, Section 2, it does say the president shall be the commander-in-chief.
Well, we know that there's
So
actually
that is
people in
there.
jail
Well,
because
the
of January
other times they had
6th.
Astor Ross
That's how I
to be
know
the
it's not just a
commander-in-chief.
huge
Well, we
psyop.
had a different president.
But thank you
So-
for asking, Creamy Goodness.
I was thinking about that a little bit, and I was thinking maybe that's back when our government operated with a little bit of common sense, and maybe they asked Washington.
Also, if you listen when they call, you can hear the jail
Here's another thought.
recording saying you are on a
Something called
recorded
the
line.
president de
Also, when
jure
we
or
end,
president de
you have
facto.
1 minute remaining,
Anybody out
all
there
that,
wanna
yeah.
Google that,
I
or
guess we
check
could have
that
made
out,
all of
check it out.
that up, but
President de jure, president
We
of
didn't.
the day, is the one that's out in front, the one that's kind of doing the PR, public relations. Whereas the president de facto is actually the real president in the background that's truly running the show. Now, this isn't me making this up. These are actual terms that you can look up. Now, I found it fascinating of, well, how do those terms, how do they originate? And that I can't do any research in here, other than relying on other people. So there's another
also the
avenue,
dead bodies
perhaps,
of Ashley
to just
Babbitt,
study the
Roseanne
waters
Boylan,
further.
Kevin Greason, and Benjamin Phillips are a
Let's see,
pretty
what
big
else do I
indication
have?
that it's not a giant psyop.
Oh, what's the latest on Texas, besides the fact that they invoked the invasion clause of their constitution? Anybody hearing anything about Texas?
I seen the tanks moving today.
We have two people that are on their way from here. What'd you say, Storm?
I seen the tanks moving today.
Oh, Storm says he saw tanks moving today.
Okay, thanks. I'm assuming we're talking Texas National Guard?
Yes.
Texas National Guard tanks?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, Texas National Guard tanks.
North Dakota
All right.
has their tanks on the railhead.
I want to be kind of cautious in what I say.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say to tanks rolling down the street? I don't know. Texas isn't having it. That's what I know. What is the other guy that was talking? Paxton, is that his name?
Ken Paxton.
Yeah, Ken Paxton. He's not having it either. He can't understand what the federal government's doing. So, Texas so far is not backing down. And it's my understanding that there's been no actual wires cut. There's been a lot of talk about cutting wires and a lot of talk about we have more wires than you have snips. But I don't think that there's been any wire cut down.
You have 1 minute remaining.
All right, and like I said, Texas Constitution, Article 4, Section 7, says that the governor has the power to call forth the militia to execute the laws of the state, to suppress insurrection, and to repel invasions. So, anyways, all right, anybody out there listening, you know where I'm going. Get involved. Please get involved. Check out precinctstrategy.com. It's how to get involved. It'll show you what to do and how to get into grassroots. Just get involved. Use your voice. Lose your voice. If you don't use your voice, you will lose your voice. Boy, I'm just losing it. All right, guys. Thank you for all that you do out there. God bless you, and God bless America.
I've seen pictures from North Dakota. They're on their
Good night.
railhead and they're ready to go.
Ha ha.
Ha
ha. Again. Hard to feel unloved. They don't care about me no more.
You say that, and then tomorrow night you're going to get 150 calls. So. Everybody with the high kick.
Yeah. That was a close one.
Actually, it's not the high kick, it's the biting kick.
Yeah, the Biden kick. Here, we can scoot over a little bit. Throw around. Why? That's gonna be in there. Yeah.
You take that away, then I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from the sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, it's right in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. USA.
All the way.
USA.
All the way.
Free J6.
Free
J6.
As always, please pray for us as we will pray for you. But let's also say some extra prayers for our fallen servicemen and women, for those injured that will be coming home to a completely different life, one which they know nothing of. And let's just pray for strength and for comfort for these people and for our entire country. I think we all need it. So I love you guys, and we will see you tomorrow night. See you.
Good night,
Sadie.
Good night. Prayers. Thank you for everybody that watched us.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.
好的。It's almost like we're in sync. Which is a body shot. Fruit. Fruit and sushi. Well, here, I got it, Lily. I think I got it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We love you. Say a prayer for us, and we will say a prayer for you. We'll see you tomorrow night, guys. Good night.
That's Tammy's day.